Okay, good morning everyone. Today we have our next Instagram live chat. We're going to be talking to Sonya Harris from NJ Garden Teacher. She's going to be talking to us about gardening and how she got started with her nonprofit. I'm going to go ahead and tag her in the comments now so you guys have her handle. And let's see. Hopefully she joins soon so I can add her. Hi, Brandy. I'll tag her nonprofit too. Hopefully I have the right handle. Oops. Good morning, Brandy. Okay, here we go. I think I just added her in. Sometimes this takes a while. Okay. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me live today.
Yeah, of course. We're so excited you could join us.
Thank you. It looks so nice outside there.
Yes, it's morning here. You're on the East Coast, right?
Yeah, we've had.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, we can get started. I was just introducing you and talking about how you're big into gardening and you have your nonprofit. And I wanted to first ask you basically how you got started with gardening.
Oh my gosh. Well, I had never really gardened before. Uh, I just retired as a teacher, but one year I was teaching first grade and just was bored with the curriculum, the math curriculum. It was so boring. I mean, we were bored as teachers teaching it, so we knew the kids were bored.
Yeah.
So there was this one lesson where it was, oh, go measure your friend's arm, go measure the table's leg, go measure this book. And the same day, I happened to have a meeting with my principal at the time.
Mhm.
And I was talking to him and I was like, dude, like this lesson was so dumb. Like, you know, wouldn't it be cool if we like grew plants and had kids measure that way? And he went, yeah, that would be nice. And one of my friends was also in the meeting with me. And she's like, yeah, that would be cool. And I said to him, I was like, Joe, do you mind if we start a garden? And he went, go for it.
Yeah.
No clue. Like I'd never planted anything.
Yeah.
So really didn't know. But I followed Ahmed Hassan, who had a show on DIY called Yard Crashers. I was a
Mhm.
huge fan. And I just was on Facebook like, hey, do you ever do any volunteer work on the East Coast? We're in Jersey. I'm a teacher. I'd like to have a garden for my kids. And he wrote me back and it was like, well, I'm on the West Coast, so it's not really easy for me to do that. But here's my number. Let's chat this weekend. Let me know what you want. I'll see how I can help you. And we did. We talked for almost 2 hours. I had a pad just like this that
Oh
was
my God.
filled with his notes, things he
Yeah.
was telling me. But he learned very quickly that I knew nothing about gardening. He said, well, what do you want to grow? And I went, like some flowers. And he goes, well, why do you want to grow it? I'm like, well, it would be cool for the kids to measure it as it grows. And he's like, okay, well, what kind of flowers? I don't, tulips. And, I'm just trying to name flowers.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what other things do you want to grow? And I'm like, well, tomatoes. He goes, well, why? And I said, because we're from Jersey. That's what we
Yeah.
do. Jersey tomatoes, Jersey sweet corn. He's like, that's not what Jersey is known for. Jersey is cranberries and blueberries. And I was like, no, I think it's tomatoes and corn.
It is now.
So, but no, he was right. Agriculturally, to me, it was blueberries and cranberries. Um, but what he did, like, I thank him so much because he set me on this journey. He's like, okay, if you want to garden with kids, here's what you need to do. You need to research these people. You need to look up these books. You need to read. You need to really learn and understand what it means to garden and what it is to garden with children.
Mm-hmm.
So he really got the ball rolling because the more I read, and he would say, okay, I'll talk to you like next month or in a couple months whenever you finish. It was like a week later, I'm calling him up like, dude, I finished this. And he's, are you serious? You finished? I'm like, yeah, I finished this. This
Yeah.
is, I was so enraptured by the benefits, learning about the benefits of gardening with kids and about reintroducing outdoors to children. And
Mm-hmm.
then it made me really look around at the students that I had. And like I said, I was teaching first grade. I'm a special educator, so I co-taught with a gen ed teacher. And, we have our little ones outside playing, and it's too hot. Oh, it's too cold. And I'm like, you're kids, you're
Yeah.
kids. They didn't want to touch anything on the ground. They didn't want
Mm-hmm.
to get their shoes dirty. They didn't want to get their clothes dirty. And I really started making those connections. And then on top of it, um, one day I had a student bring in uh, a candy bar, a bag of like little 25-cent bag of potato chips, and a little Huggy drink. And when we had said, okay, everyone get your lunch, and she had said she brought her lunch, that's what she got. And I
Mm-hmm.
went, oh, sweetie, not your snack. Go get your lunch. She said, this is my lunch. I was like, that's your lunch? And she went,
Yeah.
yeah, that's all my mom could get. And just, it was just so like, okay, whatever to
Mm-hmm.
her. And that kind of ripped my heart out.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, we were in the plans for building this garden. And I said to my partner, I was like, oh, it has to be bigger than this. Like, we have to really make sure that there's food in there. We have to grow food. Because by then, I knew about, about food deserts, but to really understand the the issue behind food apartheid
Mm-hmm.
uh, was just an even deeper issue. And I just said, we have to have food in this space. So going through talking to Ahmed, he was like heard our passion about this, and he had connected us with a landscaper here in Jersey who was helping us. And then one day he just called me and said, look, we're going to do this yard crasher style. We'll get people from across the country, and we'll just descend on your school in Glassboro, New Jersey, and we'll build a garden.
Mm-hmm.
And we did. We did it over a weekend. Oh, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here now. I don't know I don't know if my service went or
Okay,
anything, but that might have been my bad. So
fine too. Because I'm in my office, and it's been a little off and on for the past few
yeah,
days.
yeah,
Um,
we always worry about technical difficulties with this, but
it's okay. So yeah, so we built this garden, and then after that, um, watching the kids integrate with the garden and pulling things right off of the plants and eating it, and having parents say, how did you get my child to eat kale? And I went, well, they grew it, and that just set this different fire under me where I was just passionate about, okay, we have to feed kids. We have to do this. And to see families come over and pick food and thank us for having this food source there. It was incredible. So I, that was in 2015 where we built the garden. And right away, we started winning awards and for the way it was being integrated into the curriculum. And then teachers started coming out of the woodwork. How do we do this? How do we do this? So I started the nonprofit as a way to kind of be an intermediary for teachers, because I know when I was doing this and trying to get plants donated, our business administrator at the time wanted an accounting for every single plant. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. I don't know what they're bringing. I don't
yeah,
know what's going to happen. Like you're talking about stuff that I don't even know the name of, like
Yeah.
put a price tag on. These are donations. So, you know, I wanted to help teachers navigate the system,
Hmm.
and it's just kind of exploded. We put out a website and a request, and we got requests from all over the globe
Yeah.
how people wanted help building gardens for learning. Um, so that's what we did. Uh, we have expanded this to organizations. So if you have a nonprofit organization that serves a high percentage of children who are in poverty or in a food desert, or families that are in that situation, we will help as well. We offer like free classes. We do a lot of stuff, and now we're jumping into um, building an educational program that will also help parents during this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Wow.
doing.
Yeah. So much of what you said was so exciting and cool.
Thank you.
I think, especially what you said, just experiencing, like, you can learn about all this stuff with like food deserts and
Yeah.
how tragic a lot of it is, but experiencing it on a personal level, I think, is what
Oh,
prompts a lot of people to like actually
yeah.
hopefully start to do something about it. So I think that's so amazing, especially with
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. I mean, just as adults, we go, sometimes adults can be callous and go, well, they did this, or, talk about other adults. Well, they shouldn't have bought that phone, or they shouldn't have bought shoes, or they shouldn't have had that car. But a
Mhm.
child has no say. They have
Yeah.
no say in anything. And to see children, you know, go without food or get food shamed in a cafeteria, a school cafeteria. I saw this many times
Mhm.
where the kids, if you couldn't afford the lunch or your parents owed money, and you'd go up there with your little tray and you wanted your pizza,
Yeah.
and then to be told, no, you can't have that. Tell your parents to pay their bill, and you get a cheese sandwich. Like, I can't tell you how many times we paid for kids.
Yeah.
Teachers paid for kids' lunch. We were like, we'll pay the bill. We'll pay it, put it on our tab. But to know that we had a space where kids could actually go and get food was wonderful.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
that's so like gratifying, and like you said, kids, like, they have no control. So that's why I
Yeah.
think it's interesting right now with like even the pandemic, when back when it started and schools were closed and they were
Right.
trying to address like the food shortages that families would have.
Yeah. Yeah. So we, like I said, I retired from that school where I was, in the garden. It kind of went into some,
Yeah.
disarray. Wasn't looking too hot. So me and my organization went back and just
Mhm.
started planting food in it. We work with another organization called the Cooperative Gardens Commission. Here on Insta, they're at Co-op Gardens. And we had seed donations and plant donations from farmers, and we went in there and put plants in, and would put on social media to tell people, hey, this is what's here right now. There's lettuce, there's kale, there's Swiss chard, there are tomatoes. Come over so you can have food. And we've been able to tell that people have been going over and getting food, and people have been going over and getting seeds out of the little library. So this is all about, especially during this time, taking care of each other and
Mhm.
teaching each other how to grow your own food.
Yeah.
Why are we so dependent on companies to feed us when it's so simple to put a seed in the ground? You don't have to have fancy soil. You don't have to have a decorative pot.
Mhm.
You can use the earth that you have, put some seeds in the soil, and grow your own food. How empowering is that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really amazing. I think it's really great. A lot of people are getting into more kind of like gardening, like self-sustaining gardening, I think. And
Yeah,
like, it's really important to kind of try and get those fresh ingredients back into your diet, because, like
exactly.
you said, it's so common to just grab a bag of chips or like something else that's
Yeah,
processed.
yeah, or at least teach when you grab a bag of chips, have a balance. It's
Yeah.
okay to go grab a tomato.
Yeah.
Like on my Insta, you see my little baby niece just grabbing tomatoes right off of,
So cute.
the vines in the yard and just eating them. And I'm like, yes, that's
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Yeah.
You touched on it a bit already, or maybe completely, but just your mission with the nonprofit, if there's anything else you wanted to add about that. Curious.
Our whole big thing is, our tagline is plant seeds, grow futures. We really believe that, that old adage about if you give a person the fish, you feed them for a day. If you teach them the fish, you feed them for a lifetime.
Right.
Well, take that and turn that into gardening. If you take a child, you give them a seed, you teach them how to plant that seed, how to grow the food. Not only does it feed them and their family, but then you teach them how to harvest that seed, save that seed, use it for another year, feed your community, or even take those seeds and grow an empire. Like you can grow a company selling seeds.
Yeah.
And, that part is amazing. I always tell the story about when I had my garden club kids harvest garlic chive seeds, and then they decided to sell 5 for $10. And I went, I can get a pack of 100 for $2.50.
Yeah.
And what they literally said to me was, Miss Harris, we're cute. We could do this. And I was like, okay, good luck. And they sold them.
Yeah.
5 seeds for $10. So these kids, you're showing kids who honestly may not look at the green industry as something that they could actually do. But we're showing them, yeah, you can. You
Yeah.
can a really good living out of this. You can be a botanist, you can be a horticulturalist, you can be a landscaper. You can do any of these things. And, it really is amazing. And I think that we have a unique opportunity to help children and their families realize the crisis that the earth is in, realize that, you know, everything that's out there on the shelves for you isn't exactly with you in mind. It's about making a profit. Take that power out of corporate hands and put that power back into your own and your families.
Yeah.
So, and we're all about, of course, the earth, because how important is this all in to helping preserve Mother Earth?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's so inspiring,
Yeah.
especially what you said about like empowering kids and helping them see themselves in kind of maybe careers or what they want to be when they grow up that they
Yeah.
never would have saw themselves in before. So I think that's
Yeah.
really great.
I have a lot of kids who said, oh, I want to be a horticulturalist. I want to be a botanist. I want to be, because Bree Arthur is another amazing person who volunteered and would drive her little Prius from North Carolina every year from the time that garden was built, twice a year, to come and sow seeds with the kids. And on here, she's Bree the plant lady. And, you know, to see her even inspire kids and to let kids talk with a horticulturalist, and she would talk to them in Latin and they would get it. To have my kids who I was there for as a special ed teacher, and to see these children pick up so quickly and talk to me in botanical nomenclature and Latin, and I'd go, hold on a second, and I'm texting her, what did you teach them? What is
Yeah.
this? you know so it's amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've seen kids really get inspired by what we've done,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
That's so important.
uh,
The last question we always ask is, what is your one simple action that you would give to listeners just to benefit the earth or be more eco-friendly in some way?
oh my gosh. Well, right now, I think the biggest thing that we can do, everyone talks about recycling and composting, and yes, but we know we have this invasion of beings who are not native to our
Mm-hmm.
country. And I think the biggest thing that we can do, and I learned this from um, our director of environmental education, Teresa. She's somewhere on here. She might be on this thing right now. So check in the comments. I think she is. Yeah,
Okay,
she is.
yeah,
Grow
I did.
with Miss Teresa. Grow underscore with Miss Teresa. Natives, about increasing native plants in your yard, and about really creating beautiful native wildscapes where you can welcome nature into your yard. It does, and I tell people, I'm like, after listening to her and learning more about it, it doesn't mean like you're saying, "Hey, dear, come eat all of my veggies." No, it means creating this more biodiverse ecosystem in your own yard.
Mhm.
It's not about how green your grass is. It's really about what are you doing to save the earth. Put some native things in your yard. It's okay to let a little patch of grass grow if you're really that, no, I need to have my lawn manicured,
Yeah.
then let a little piece of your grass just stay unmanicured. Let
Yeah.
it grow. It's all right. Plant some clover. Find out about your native milkweed. Do whatever you can to just help nature be nature.
Yeah.
Because if we're going to do anything, like I was on a webinar last night about stink bugs, and they were saying, that's what we do. And they were saying that because they've been in the US for such a long time, they're now starting to develop natural predators, which is wonderful. They're seeing their numbers go down. They're not used to our weather patterns, especially on the East Coast. And like I said, some of the natural predators are realizing, like, oh, we can eat this.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen if you bring natural predators and natural beings to your yard? They're going to hopefully um, discover that they can eat these unnatural
Mhm.
uh, organisms and life forms and help increase our own biodiversity here in the US.
Right. Yeah, I think that's such a good one because I personally, and from what I know from other people, we're so removed from like what
Mm.
is and isn't native. Like everything
Yeah,
that we have here is so normalized. I don't even, for the most part, know the difference between what would be and wouldn't be. So I think that's a great thing to get educated on and something simple
yeah.
to start with.
Yeah, there's some really wonderful websites. I know you can go onto your state's extension,
Uh-huh.
your local extension office, and find out what is great. If I know Teresa's on here, hopefully she can drop the website in the comments. She's like, yes, yes, with native plants
Yes.
yield for veggies too. It does. I've seen that. It increases your yield for vegetables. I have a lot of natives in my yard this year, and man, my vegetables are growing. Plus, I have tons of butterflies. Who doesn't like
Yeah.
that? Um, but yeah, just check and you can see, well, what are some of my local native plants, native trees, and bring them back into your own landscape, into your yard or at a park. So it's very possible to do. And they're not expensive.
Yeah.
A lot of times you can just go and see somewhere that where they're growing, go, oh, I'm going to transplant this right into my own space.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can visit our website, as Teresa put there, blockgardenproject.org. Teresa has a webinar that she did that we're putting on there. And yeah, you can learn more about native plants and, just other resources. We have resources there for everyone.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we'll tag the your nonprofit and your account
Thank
um,
you.
in the title of this, so everyone can go check that out and go
Thank
check
you.
out your website. I know we can also donate on your website, right?
Yes, you can donate on our website, and 100% of what we get goes towards helping other people grow gardens,
Okay.
and also just helping people access food.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that's so great. Yeah.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you so much. We don't want to take too much of your time, but thank you so much
Oh,
for joining us this morning.
thank you. Enjoy your
This is
weather.
so amazing. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Take care. Bye,
You
everyone.
too. Bye, everyone.